Good morning. Today Friday 16 October 2015. Paper highlights read by Christina Aroselvam. You're listening to AthavanNews.com. Now let's move to the paper highlights from today's newspaper Daily Mirror. Daily Mirror headline says 3 customs officers arresting while taking rupees 125 million bribe. Superintendent among those arrested. 3 custom officers, a superintendent and deputy superintendent and assistant superintendent were arrested in the bribery commission for accepting a bribe of rupees 125 million from vehicle spare parts against the SLTB in Panchkawata yesterday. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror: doctors find a new aquatic larva to eliminate mosquitoes at larval stage. Dr. Ayu Samarasinghe attached the Valigama Medical Health Services office says he has discovered a special and aquatic larvae that can be deployed to eliminate mosquitoes at larvae stage. Larvae species which can suck and feed off the mosquito's liver instantly will transform the victim larvae into the murine. Dr. Samarasinghe said he found the solution to the breeding of the mosquitoes as the result of his continued effort in research on mosquitoes. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror: public hearing on ITN controversy postponed. The public hearing into the ITN controversy fixed for yesterday by Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigate and inquire into serious act of fraud, corruption and abuse of power, state resource and privilege was postponed for today. Government to regulate issues of diplomatic passports, the Daily Mirror headline says. The government has decided to regulate the number of diplomatic passport holders. In the past, diplomatic passports had been issued to several persons who did not qualify for them, and they had been misused, Co-Cabinet spokesman Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka said at the media briefing yesterday to announce the cabinet decision. He said the eligible person will be issued diplomatic passport in future. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror: US resolution SLFP yet to announce stance. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party SLF is yet to take up a final position on US-sponsored resolution adopted by the United Nations Human Rights Council is in Lent. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror: VVP dollar account holders. Government to name names soon. The government has gathered info on $8 accounts held in foreign banks by member of a VVIP family of the previous regime, and the names of account holders will be disclosed after the ongoing investigation are over, Cabinet spokesman Minister Rajitha Senaratne said yesterday. Another news highlight from Daily News: the headline says government will mete out justice to PTA prisoners. The government hoped to meet a justice to those held in prison under the Prevention of Terrorism Act before the end of this year. Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa assured the prisoners who are currently in hunger strike, calling for this release. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror: SB recall childhood mischief, stressing on the importance of counselling social empowerment of Welfare Minister SP Disanayake yesterday recalled his childhood days in the village committing act of mischief and said counselling would have been beneficial even during that era. Now let's move to the paper highlights from today's newspaper Daily News. The news highlight says: court dismissed request to withdraw complaint. Colombo Additional Magistrate Thilina Gamage yesterday turned down a request made to withdraw a complaint against 11 suspects, including former ITN Deputy General Manager Sudharaman Brandaliyagoda and for the TCR Director General. Another news highlight from Daily News: Saradri Abru calls it a day. Supreme Court Judge Saradri Abru has sent retirement papers, informed sources told Daily News. The CID 3 months ago filed charges against Justice Abru at the Mount Lavinia Magistrate Court, sexually harassing a domestic act. He was later released by the Mount Lavinia Magistrate on personal bail of Rs 5 lakhs. Subsequent to the case, the Sri Lanka Bar Association requests the Chief Justice to prevent Abru from the sitting and carrying out the functions as a Supreme Court judge. Another news highlight from Daily News: HC Aquatic Danuna in high crop case. The Colombo High Court yesterday ordered to acquit Dhanuna Tilakaratne from hip crop case on the basis that the prosecution have failed to prove a accused guilty beyond the responsible doubt. Tilakaratne had been charged under the Public Property Act of aiding and abetting cheating of $2,99,061 rupees. Another news highlight from Daily News. President to come down hard on legal stand missing. President Maithripala Sirisena said that the set of strict regulation has been imposed covering sand, soil and metal related activities including transporting, mine, crushing, etc. Another news highlight from Daily News. Appropriation bill in Parliament on October 23rd. The budget speech containing proposal for the financial year of 2016 is to be delivered on November 20th, said Health, Nutrition and Indigenous Medicine Minister and Cabinet Spokesman Dr. Rajitha Senaratne. Another news highlight from Daily News. Golden Key depositors set to receive second stage repayment. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the release and advance of Rs 3,945.6 million from the General Treasury of the Central Bank for second stage of repayment of the Golden Key depositors. Another news highlight. Daily News. Sankari pleads for fasting prisoners. TULF General Secretary B. Anand Sankari, in a letter to President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday, requests to release detainees who are engaged in the fast in the virus persons without any punishment. He said these detained should be released without the punishment as they had already served in 20 years in jail. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Ceylon Today. President takes charge of avant-garde probe. President Maithripala Sirisena has decided to take charge of investigation into the floating armory and the belongs the avant-garde security service, co-cabinet spokesman Minister Rajitha Senaratne said yesterday. During the cabinet meeting, the president said legal action must be taken against the avant-garde and decided to take control of the investigation regarding this matter, he said. Another news highlight from Ceylon Today. To arrest rising waves of crimes, Vijayadasa wants immediate PSC. Minister of Justice Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa has requested Speaker Karu Jayasuriya to appoint a parliamentary select committee to look into quelling rising tide of crime and preventing delays in the enforcement of the law. Another news highlight from Ceylon Today. Legally of High Court judge in SPCI. Commission chairman's ruling today. The ruling of the Social Presidential Commission of Inquiry to Preliminary Objection presented by lawyers of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa regarding the legal validity of the commission is scheduled to be announced when the commission opens sitting this morning. The SPCI is carrying out the investigation into the large-scale corruption and fraud which are alleged to have taken place during the tenure of the previous regime. A parliamentary objection was submitted by the Presidential Council Gamini Marapuna, affirming the underclause of 110 subclauses 1 of the Constitution, the President does not have authority to appoint in a High Court. Another news highlight from Ceylon Today. Government says Sports City are ready. Project will resume if report satisfactory. Deputy Minister of Highways and Investment Promotion, Eran Vikramasinghe, said if the Environment Impact Assessment report on the Colombo Port City project is satisfactory, the project will resume without any issues. We brought you the paper highlights from today's newspaper. We will bring you more news tomorrow.